All right, welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Beatzilla PDX official show news break. And of course, I am your host, Beatzilla PDX, officially. Now, this story right here is DACA becoming the Black American nightmare? So is the Dreamer program becoming the American nightmare? It's kind of seeming to be that way because we have a whole bunch of people here who claim to be American citizens, but seem to forget the foundational Black Americans are citizens and are the foundation of this country, because this country would not exist for anyone's dreams to come true in until the free labor of foundational Black Americans built this country. Yes, built this country. I know some people like to say that ain't true, but wrong. And, it's so serious that even some of the PC people would even agree.
African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to you built the nation.
And so with that being said, on the flip side, we get this from other people.
This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
And then let's always keep in mind, this is the going line from the Democrats as well.
I'm not always going to only talk about what we can do for Black people.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
And remember this.
You heard the word reparations there. The NAACP defines it as financial recompensation for African Americans whose ancestors were slaves. Tuberville seemed to be saying that blacks are, quote, the people that do the crime. Now, the Democratic Party does not support reparations, though President Biden has supported studying the issue.
Wow. So what they're doing right now is basically trying to compare these illegal immigrants to asylum seekers from like war-torn countries. Like, no, that's not what this is. They're not. None of these countries are in a wartime conflict. You have local things that are going on, true indeed, but so do we here. And, we hear all about all of this crime here. So I don't understand why this would be the place to escape to. You wouldn't go to the dangerous spot, right? Because they're supposedly fleeing from, fleeing from the danger, correct? That's why we always ask,
where's your family from?
Because that matters. Because we understand when you have people like this supposed to be leading the charge and leading the way for the American people, all they're looking to do is make non-Americans Americans in the place of already standing Americans, especially foundational Black Americans. And that's called anti-Blackness, while standing here supposedly being as a face of a multicultural coalition, which is still doing nothing for foundational Black Americans. But nonetheless, when they all got into office, the phone calls went out down to South America, just like this. Do you all realize how much fentanyl they're catching down at the border? And that's just what they're catching. So again, just begs to ask. But let's see what AOC herself had to say in her press conference. And then we'll also hear from Cory Booker as well. So let's hear AOC first.
Yes, and thank you so much, Senator Menendez, for
your leadership on this issue. And we're so grateful that this is a bicameral effort. Thank you so much to all of our colleagues here in the House and the Senate. This is what makes us different, is that, whoa, this is what makes us different, is that, thank you so much, is that we are willing to hold administrations accountable for the rights of immigrants and immigrant families, regardless of party or allegiance. Right is right, and our main allegiance is to the families, immigrant and
They're
US
illegal.
citizen families of the United States. So thank you to our co-leads
not
here,
seeing that.
Senators Menendez, Padilla, Lujan, and Booker, and Representatives Casar and Grijalva for co-leading on this, as well as our members here joining as 77 members total of the House and Senate, additionally, who have signed on to our letter, up to 80, as Senator Menendez had indicated. Last year, President Biden promised to end Title 42. Instead, he is now expanding restrictions on asylum seekers.
Good.
But the right
Good.
to seek asylum is enshrined in domestic and international
It's not a right,
law.
it's a privilege.
And the United States is a shining example. And we have sought and aspired to be an example to uphold international law.
This isn't
Instead, this
asylum.
administration is making it effectively impossible to seek refuge at our border. The courts rightly rejected the Trump administration's attempt to categorically end asylum. President Biden should listen to the courts and human rights activists and reverse course. There can be no confusing the Biden administration's immigration policy with the Trump administration's, but doing better than Trump doesn't mean it shouldn't be the bar.
Wow.
Thousands of lives are being put in
Hooey.
real danger every day. There have been more than 10,000 violent attacks on people at our border, including kidnappings, serious assaults, and deaths against individuals who were expelled due to Title 42 since the beginning of the Biden administration. The Biden administration's new policies only make it more difficult for the most vulnerable to legally access the United States. We are confident
It's
that
not
there is
legal.
a better way forward. And this is a sentiment not just held by progressive members, but by 77 Democrats in the House and Senate across the ideological spectrum. We are ready to work with the president to ensure that we have a safe, humane border that upholds the right to asylum without recreating unjust policies of past administrations. And with that, I'll hand it off to Senator Booker. Thank you.
Thank you, Congress.
Wow. Oh, Lord. And let's hear from him.
We know our history. We are at our best when times are tough, that we don't abandon our common values, but we adhere to them more strongly. And yes, we have dark chapters, like when the St. Louis, during the Holocaust, sailed to our shores and was turned around, where folks were sent back to those horrors and many died. It was coming out of that history that we as a nation affirmed that our values, our ideals, our virtue would be made real in law, codified by our government, that we would say never again. And yet here we are now, when there is a global migration crisis, where we are seeing political persecution, religious violence, all across our planet, driving a migration crisis. At a time in human history that calls for us as Americans, to be a light and a beacon for how to address these global challenges.
How do we be Americans? Take care of America. We don't address global challenges. One of the reasons why America has always been involved in global challenges is to avoid dealing with giving Black people justice in America. That is literally some of the reasons why America has even been in conflicts, because there were movements of Black Americans looking for tangibles, and all of a sudden this conflict on the other side of the world comes up and we have to get involved with it. And if we don't get involved with it, then we're not doing a good service, and blah, 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 blah. And that's what's been going on. They've been doing this to us for a minute. You understand? And it's okay to say, no, it's not cool. It's not cool to keep doing, and with that, like even in New York, you got Eric Adams. Eric Adams is catching hell out there because and hey man, he wanted to play the Democratic puppet, and he thought that he was just going to be able to focus against black people. Well, he has a whole different problem on his hands now, and too bad for him, because at the end of the day, you shouldn't be picking any type of idea that these people really got your back. When it comes down to it, you're a pawn to them, and if you don't understand that, they will show you. So I'm gonna play some sound from this interview. He was on one of these morning programs, and let's hear what he has to say, because they're going to talk to him about basically how they are being full to the tooth. They are being filled to the tooth with nothing but people that just simply do not belong there, and it's not like he's getting any relief. And he's been asking for help from the White House and whatnot, because again, he even went and visited El Paso. So with that being said, he sees for himself what time it is, and he can no longer hide from that fact of truth. So let's go ahead and let's get to it.
Being with us, how serious is the crisis at the border, and what pressures are putting on you as a mayor of New York City?
Well, I believe that when I took the trip to the El Paso, you could see firsthand the impact of how it not only harmed the foundation of El Paso, but look at Chicago, Houston, Washington, New York City. This is just unfair for cities to carry the weight of a national problem. We're going to open 4 more hotels, emergency hotels. We have to open HERCs. This is a major financial impact on New York City and cities across this country that are receiving the brunt of it.
What have you said to White House officials about the importance of bringing more order to the border?
And coordination. I was told that we have an individual that's coordinating the operation. And as I shared with White House officials, why don't I know who that is? It's about having a real decompression strategy, looking at who's coming in and ensuring that it is really burdened by the entire country, not just a few cities. And just the pathway continues to lead to New York. We have to have a real comprehensive immigration policies, and I think that the Republicans have blocked it for many years. We have to come to the table to do so, but that's a long-term plan. What's the short-term plan? If my house is burning, I don't want to hear about fire prevention. Let's put out the fire. And the fire right now is the overproliferation of migrant and asylum seekers in several cities in the country.
So, Mayor Adams, you were also elected, of course, to take on.
And then they were going to about start asking them about crime. But see, let's talk about this criminal act here. This influx of illegal immigration. That's what it is. It's illegal immigration, and it's a huge influx and a huge problem. I mean, when you have people coming by these numbers, this is an old picture of people who they say built a country that they were coming to. So just to give you some clarity on that, if you're on a ship like this headed to America, immigrants did not build what you were headed to, because it was already built. So with that little tidbit of truth, go ahead and stick that one in your cap. And let's just go back and just understand what we are looking at. They are trying to use all of this as a buffer class to get away from addressing the issues and needs of foundational Black Americans here in America. And this reparations claim that is not going away, this anti-Black hate crime bill that needs to be passed, they just dropped the whole George Floyd Policing Act altogether. That just died in the wind. So look at what's going on, family. Now we're talking about, let's get these Black faces right here to start talking about all of these non-Black immigrants that are coming into the country. Because let's remember the other thing that we saw with the the Haitian immigrants, oh, they just tried to come over here and just got turned away. So it's simple as that, family. It is really as simple as that. So is DACA becoming the Black American nightmare? Let us know what you think in the comments below. We are seeing this and watching this real time play out. I believe that we should vocally be against illegal immigration because it, as a collective, for us and our community, has only brought harm. And another thing that they are doing is dropping off these illegal immigrants off up into Black neighborhoods. They're not even putting them in Latino neighborhoods or Asian neighborhoods or any of these other neighborhoods, but they're making sure to put them out of place in the position of Black folks. And then they're going to give them people, they're already got programs to give these people money in an impoverished environment. So that is putting them in position to exploit the poor Black folks in the communities to which they are fleeing to. And that is absolutely ridiculous, wicked, and evil. So again, let us know what you think about this in the comments below. Please like and share this broadcast. And also, if you have not already subscribed to this channel, please do so now and hit the subscribe button, and also hit that the bell, the notification bell, hit the word all, so you'll be notified every time this channel goes live or uploads a video. So if you would also like to help this broadcast, help this channel continue and grow, you can also donate at the Cash App or the PayPal, or even the Super Thanks and Super Chats. So thank you so much. Appreciate all the support. Much love, peace, power, blessings, protection be upon all of you and yours. So with that being said, this has been another Beatzilla PDX official break. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at beatzillapdx. And always stay Black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first. Shalom, y'all.